Oh my god. Wow. Oh. Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. And you're more than welcome to come and join me for this flight today in the pre-release version of Just Flight's Tomahawk, affectionately known as anyway. And it's great to have this in MSFS 2024, fully ready, compatible, and raring to go, really. And this is Just Flight's most advanced general aviation to date. You can do a Walkaround. We'll do that in a minute and show you that. And I have shown this on the channel quite a few times, but it's great to see it in 2024 with all the nice new upgrades. There's a few new features as well to mention. We're going to fly from Taton Hill, which is, well, another classic burning blue design airfield. As you can see here, looking absolutely stunning. We're in the Crystal Super using native resolution, but with DLSS 4. And you can see this is the perfect place to take off in our beautiful little Tomahawk today. And the plan is we'll do some general handling maneuvers, see how she feels, you know, whether she feels a bit more, maybe more fluid, a bit more alive, since 2024 is better for general aviation flying. It really is, because of just the added physics when it comes to things like ground physics and turbulence, wind, weather. It's all better in MSFS 2024 in my opinion. So what better way than to fly in the Crystal Super. Come join me for this flight and we'll chat more about this beautiful pre-release from Just Flight. So first of all, let's just have a quick look at this model here. It is a very, very nicely done model here, and if anything, I think it's just a bit sharper looking than their Piper Warrior and Arrow and Turbo Arrow. Just seems like it's a bit more up to date in terms of how it looks. Again, it's not the most sharpest of textures, but I mean it's very, very impressive. And you can see here, like, the screws have been individually modelled. You can see the engine there, and the dirt and grime splatters of flies and stone chips. So to be fair, this is very, very detailed actually, and it's a welcome addition. But this was a later release for the Just Flight team, and each aircraft just keeps getting better and better. I do love this livery, the Bumblebee livery. Now, one thing I will say is missing, which is a shame. You can't remove the chocks and tie downs in the outside walk-around view like this. But we do have, as I say, we have its own system, which, to be honest, is better anyway. It's a proper walk-around. So let's just do this now, and it works in VR, or at least it used to. So let's see. We'll just press this button here. Right, okay. So we're now going to do a little bit of the walk-around. I won't do the whole thing. But here you can check and remove the chocks and check the tyre condition and things like that. So you can actually, I think you can click on them. I can't remember, but it doesn't seem to be working here. Remember, this is a pre-release, so it could just be a bug. I don't know, but I'm sure you was able to take that off before. But in any case, you can check them by clicking on it, and it will tell you. Ah, there we go, look, so that's fine. Sorry about the noise outside, there's an RAF Typhoon just flying over my house. Oh, I see, yes, I really like this. You can check the prop condition, make sure it turns correctly and it's free, there's no obstacles, like, you know, like a cloth been left there from cleaning, or, you know, a bird or something. I do love that. And you can check the fuel strain as well. Here we go. I love the sound, but you don't really get an animation. But it does say here, water quantity 0. So we can then move on to the next thing. So, and you can hear some footsteps as walking around, which is very cool. So again, we can check the right tyre, which is 30 psi, condition 100%. Engine check. So yeah, again, there isn't any animations, which we're kind of getting used to now with 2024. But to be fair, this is a free update, okay? So I must, you know, reiterate that point, that it is a free update, no extra charge, and you've got this Tomahawk to enjoy in this sim, and it'll work perfectly and natively as well. And a lot of work goes into this, to be fair, a lot of work. In fact, this, yeah, I can actually I can move that. So that's cool. Some of the items are interactable, if that's a word. It is now. Then we'll go for the rudder. Check that out. I do appreciate a good walk around. I'm a little bit far away in VR from this. It would be nice to be a little bit closer to the aircraft. And of course, all these sounds will be from a real Tomahawk because, well, it's just flight. They do things properly. Let's pretend we need to repair something so we can hear the sound of that. That's cool. I like that. So we can now remove the tie downs. And again, you can't seem to do it, which is weird because you can see there that I get a grab thing, that sort of the mouse changed to a grab icon, but I can't seem to move it unless I remove it from here. So if I just fix all here, there we go. So yeah, I think there is some work to do. I think it would be nice if we can sort of click on those items. There may be a way of doing it and I'm just doing it wrong, but in any case, I can't seem to get it work in this pre-release. Right, so let's just go straight into the cockpit now. So welcome to the cockpit of the Tomahawk, and it is very much the same as it was previously, and that's because they didn't really need to change anything. It looks phenomenal in this thing, and in the Pimax Crystal Super at 50 ppd, let me assure you that I can see everything. If something was amiss, if something was a bit dodgy, or there was some textures that didn't look very good, I would notice it in this, because I've got the best view in the house here with this headset. Far better than any flat screen sort of flight simmer would enjoy. You know, you really feel like you're inside this cockpit right now, and I can almost smell that Piper smell. There's a certain, you know, atmosphere and smell about old Piper aircraft. I can't explain it. It's like a classic car, you know, a bit oily and a bit fusty, a bit like an old classic bus or something. And I love it. And it's coming back to me right now. And it's amazing that I'm thinking about that. And that's because it feels like I'm here right now in this cockpit. And only VR can do that, especially in a headset of this insane clarity as well. And it looks very nice in here. They have got a new option in the EFB now to change the fuel management, which is very nice. Great addition there. And before I forget, for the first 2 weeks of this new release for MSFS 2024, they will be a 20% discount for, I think it's 2 weeks. So make sure you grab that opportunity because this is one of the general aviation aircraft. It's a, you know, one of those birds that you've just got to have in your hangar. And there's also going to be a new livery pack for the Tomahawk. I mean, there is a lot of liveries in this anyway, not unless it's because I've got all of them because it's a pre-release, I'm not quite sure. But in any case, there is going to be a whole host of new liveries. And I think it's going to be $7.99, which is, you know, reasonably cheap actually, especially if you're one of them people that just love to fly in different liveries and probably more real-world ones as well. For me, I'm not so bothered. I think the general package that you get with this is enough, and I tend to just fly a few different ones anyway myself, which, in my opinion, this is my favourite. This one and the black one as well, very nice. Anyway, let's just stop rambling now because I'm probably talking too much. So let's shut the door. Bit of a process here. I love the sounds. Make sure this is latched as well at the top. And we'll get this fired up. And you can obviously use a checklist here, which I really like how they've got this sort of paper version. But for us, I think we'll be okay, hopefully, he says. Now, bear in mind, this aircraft does have wear and tear as part of this simulation, and to be fair, what we could do to make things more interesting is go to the aircraft page. I'll just go a bit closer so you can see. You can see here we've got different conditions. Let's choose random condition. Right, so I suppose now that I've done that I need to do the walk around again. Because now you can see, look, right fuel tank contaminated, the left fuel is contaminated, and the nose fuel is also contaminated. Right, so this gives you maintenance warnings here. So I'll tell you what, I won't do that. I'll just overhaul aircraft because we've got to get going. But that gives you an idea, and you can set the wear rate, the condition. At the moment now we've got a brand new one. We can enable failures. It's very small, this text here. Obviously in the Crystal Super that's okay, but I think you will struggle in other VR headsets to see that, but make sure you tick them at the bottom there. So, right, let's just bang in a GPS. We like a bit of a GPS unit, even though I know, admittedly, it's probably a bit unrealistic for an aircraft of this type. Used mainly, you know, as a training platform, because it does snap into a spin quite violently. And if I am feeling brave, I will do this in the motion rig today, okay? If I'm feeling brave enough. So, battery on. Make sure throttle, everything is off. So, we've got full tanks both sides here. We probably don't need that amount of fuel, so maybe we'll just take that back a bit, because we're only going for a short hop today. There we go. This is the fuel screen. And to be fair, let's just click 50%. Oh, you can change the payload as well. That's cool. I like that. Let's put 25% payload. So we've got a pilot and 50% fuel. I really like that feature, because otherwise you have to mess around and go into the menu. And in MSFS 2024, that's really annoying. So thanks Just Flight for allowing that to be done in the tablet. Nice little feature there. So of course there is a number of updates to this, and I'll just scroll the changelog now, because of course I am in VR and I'm not going to know and remember all of them, because there's some little tiny little changes that just make this aircraft all that bit better. Okay, so while we're doing that, I'm actually going to enable say intentions, because of course we are using that today. I friggin' love it. And we'll just request a startup, 119.99. And because I'm stupid, I've actually bound my radio key to the same key as the VR toolbar. What an idiot. I need to change that around, but I can't be bothered at the moment, so sorry about that. We'll have to just deal with it. Here we go then. 12 Lima Golf, request startup. Hopefully we'll get something back.
Ground to flight deck. Good morning. You are clear to start up. Winds 260 at 16. QNH 1003.
Roger, clear for startup. Thank you. 12 Lima Golf. Okay, so now let's just prime the system here. We'll put the mixture fully rich, throttle cracked. A little bit of play. Oh, I know why, because this is on as well. I've got two throttles. That might be a bit of an issue. Hopefully not. I might have to just use this throttle instead. Yeah, that's the thing. When you've got lots of peripherals, sometimes you just kind of bindings get a bit confusing. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now and listen to the sound of the Tomahawk. Here we go. You know, it's those little things as well, like it's got spatial sounds and you can hear the wind as you go around the airframe, especially behind as well. And even things like just the grass moving as I increase the power. And there's also a little bit of exhaust gas there as well, I can see. Yeah, Just Flight really do a phenomenal job. And I think they hit that balance very nice. Sort of in the middle ground between something like a Coronado aircraft, which is just, yeah, they're great aircraft, but they don't have the sort of more study level aspects like the Walkaround, like the wear and tear, and the better flight modelling. Then you've got the sort of A2A right at the top. I do feel Just Flight have that real nice middle ground where it has sort of the enjoyment factor, but also it feels very realistic flying these birds, and you can really do it by the book and by the numbers as well. Because they do liaise with real-world pilots, of course, with many of their aircraft, whether it's the Tomahawk or the 146 Professional. You know, they really take their time. Oh, I can feel the vibration here. We're using the Moza Force Feedback Yoke today. I've now switched to this. I am spoilt for choice, I know. So that will do there. So we don't think we actually have a tower frequency for Taton Hill. Let me just check here to see if we've got it on here. So good that the EFB is now working in VR. Things are improving, that is for sure. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 8. Hopefully the microphone is sounding okay in the Crystal Super. Taton Hill radio, this is 12 Lima Golf, request taxi to the active runway. I'm not sure this is going to work actually. It should do, we're on the right frequency.
12 Lima Golf, I am radio only car, you're free to taxi, runway 26 in use, QNH 1003.
Okay. Roger, thank you, 12 Lima Golf, runway 26 in use. Right, that'll do then, that's fine. So fuel pump off, landing light, we'll put that on now actually because we don't have a taxi light. And everything's warming up nicely. We do have to treat this bird with some care here. I'm looking here at the T's and P's, as we like to say. I'll just zoom in for you guys. Look at that. The resolution of that is very nice. I really like how the you've got wear and tear and everything as well. That's just gorgeous. Really, really nice. It's so good to have this bird back in MSFS 2024. Right, let's give it some beans. And we are stuck. This is a Sim Update 3 bug, but I know how to fix it. There we go. Yeah, it's a bit of a issue with Sim Update 3 beta at the moment. You get like a stuck park brake, but I have a binding to kind of mitigate that issue. Tell you what, we're just going to go straight on the runway here because we're so close to it, and I'll just make a call. 12 Lima Golf is taking off runway 26, Taton Hill. Right then, so get rid of the toolbar.
12 Lima Golf, roger, wind 270 at 16.
I love it. Say intentions is so cool. So one thing I will say is a bit of a gripe with this aircraft. I'm sure Just Flight won't mind me saying this, is I do wish that we had headphone simulation. It's the only thing missing really. So we'll put a bit of flap in now. There we go. We are using, by the way, dynamic foveated rendering. So if you see a little bit of jankiness, that's what that is. And off we go. Got force feedback trim. Moza yoke feeling really nice. I've just updated it again and it's feeling, yeah, feel all the bumps. Oh, feels so realistic. Flipping heck. Oh, I will never get bored of this experience, guys, because it just keeps on getting better and better, doesn't it? Like with force feedback controls, and I'm so glad I've got force feedback because I might have to pack my motion rig up soon. That's right, folks. I might be back to using a desk again. But the fact I've got force feedback and haptic seat pad as well, at least I've got that. I might looking to get a seat mover from DOF Reality actually, because I am going to be struggling for space soon. That's all I'm going to say for now. Anyway, so she basically just flew herself off the runway there and felt very, very fluid. Yeah, she feels lovely. Lovely in the air. We'll just back off the mixture a little bit here. I love the view you get out of the canopy as well. You get a really nice view of the world. Look at that little rain shower. Should we just go over there? Let's go through that little rain shower. There's quite a few around, to be fair, so we're probably going to hit one anyway. So we'll do some general handling manoeuvres with the Tomahawk. But yeah, we'll just go through this rain shower, because why not? Let's check out to see if there's decent rain effects. Talking of rain effects, there is another aircraft coming out which does look unbelievable. In fact, it's going to move the game on again. It's been a while since we've had an aircraft that's done that. And that is the Starship by Black Square. Now, long-term viewers of the channel will know that I featured every single Black Square aircraft and shown them pre-release as well. Now I'm sad to say I won't be showing this one pre-release simply because of lack of time, and that is also respect to Black Square, because I don't want to just make a simple video messing around with it and just fly and not really do the checklist. That's just not something you can do with a Black Square bird, because they are incredibly detailed. You're talking of the PMDG of the general aviation world, and one of the features, as you can see from this footage among many, is the Starship has amazing rain effects where the wiper blade actually wipes the rain away, and they've even gone as far as to simulate the wipers squeaking on the windshield if there's no rain there. It's just, and that detail, that little thing, is just one of thousands of details with that aircraft, including a full electrical system, bespoke flight modeling, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, at some point I will show it on the channel, but I just don't have time at the moment, unfortunately. So here we go, we've got some rain effects here, looking very nice, very convincing. I like the sounds, and this bird is feeling even smoother to fly in 2024, it must be said. So let's just do a bit of general handling here. We'll just get out of this little shower, trim out a bit, maybe put the pitot heat on because it's not the most warmest of days. We'll put the fuel pump on for our general handling manoeuvres, and we'll also change tanks. Fuel pressure is good. Mixture, we'll just lean that back a little bit. We'll get to about 3,000 feet. Landscape looking absolutely beautiful. We're currently getting 45 frames per second on the dot. Right, so it's time to try out the steep turn maneuver, which is something I would recommend you guys practice, especially GA fans. It's all about stick and rudder. So we'll just make sure there's no aircraft in the area. It is a bit cloudy, but hopefully we should stay VFR here. And we're going to try and keep coordinated, and here we go. So I haven't done one of these in quite a while, so I'm not expecting me to, to be very good at this, because as I said, I should be practicing this every week, really. It's great fun to do it. Keeping the ball centered, trying to keep our altitude around 3,000 feet, not just being too fixated with the needles and the dials, but looking outside at the horizon as well. So we're keeping now a very nice around 3,000 feet, and yeah, I'm just a little bit not quite coordinated. There we go. This is actually a really good test for the Crystal Super, because I'm looking down there at the ball whilst pointing my head in that direction. That shows the sweet spot is very good in this. And that is a steep turn, not very well executed, but that's just down to the pilot, not the aircraft. But yeah, she feels very, very smooth. We'll do one to the left as well. I can't explain what this feels like, guys, in a motion rig. Get coordinated, there we go. Bit of back pressure. And it's good to look out as well at the horizon. And you'll find if you do that, especially in VR, that everything will fall into place as it is now. Look, 3,000 feet, all coordinated. Nice deep turn. I'm happy with that. Nice. Just the fluidness of this flight model is what I love about Just Flight aircraft. They seem to just, put that icing on the cake. You've got great sounds, great systems, a decent amount of depth as well. A very nice interactive EFB, which does lots of things, by the way. You can import your flight plans, the top of descent calculator, you got your checklist here, you got a moving map display, you can write notes. I really do like this, actually. This is very cool, especially for VFR. We're currently about to overfly Litchfield, so we'll make sure we're clear of that for this next maneuver, which we're going to do. I'm going to brave it, guys, and I'm going to do a stall maneuver and see what happens, because this thing can bite you. So we'll just go over here. There's an antenna over there as well, so we'll just head this direction. That's another thing about MSFS 2024 I really like, is the points of interest. You get all these antennas. There's another one over there as well. You have to watch out for those. So we'll just start taking the power back a little bit. We'll trim out. The yoke is now pulling back the pressure. I can feel that. And we'll just do a gentle stall to start with and see how that feels. Really pulling back now. Feel, yeah, wow, even on the yoke there, I can feel. And because it's, yeah, that's very sedate, that is, that's nice. And then recover. Now, of course, I've never flown in a Tomahawk before, so I'm not a real-wheel pilot or anything. But Pipers, generally speaking, do tend to be quite sedate. But what we'll do now, folks, is try to induce a bit of a spin. A little bit nervous about this myself, to be honest, because I am in a motion rig, after all. But let's see what happens here. Oh my god. Wow. Oh. There we go. That was quite violent. And yeah, it was instinct as well. I didn't really talk much there during that, but what I did is basically apply full right rudder and then allow the speed to build back up and then gently pull back on the yoke to recover. And we actually only lost, not a lot actually, only around sort of 400 feet there. Well, actually no, probably a bit more because we was at about 3,000. Maybe at 500 feet we lost. Should we do that again, folks? Let's do that. We're at 2,500 feet. Because this is so much fun. One of the real testaments to the Just Flight team for the excellent flight modelling. Bit of left rudder to help kick her in. Oh no, is she gonna? No, she's not gonna spin this time. Interesting. So each time it's different depending on the aerodynamic forces, the wind, and how, you know, the wings are gonna stall, and what I'm doing in terms of the power. It's all different each time, which makes this a lot of fun to fly. Let's just get a bit more altitude and I'll try that again. A lovely visibility as well out this canopy, the windshield, and this sort of all-round visibility. I mean, look at this behind us here. Fantastic. And this also showcases the tracking, the really good tracking of the Crystal Super. Inside that tracking, no base stations, and it is solid, even in the motion rig. Right, 2,600 feet. Let's do this one more time. There we go. Left ring. Oh god. Right. I could, you know, do another spin there, but no, I need to recover because we don't have a lot of altitude there. We did lose quite a bit of altitude on that. Loads of fun though. Absolutely tons of fun. This flies beautifully in MSFS 2024. Really. Absolutely beautiful. Right, anyway, let's just check T's and P's are all good. Still no traffic in the area. We'll take the fuel pump off now. In fact, we'll just change tanks again to the left tank. And then take the fuel pump off. And we'll start heading to Cosford for a landing. Wow. I always say, folks, that sod your F-18s in DCS world. For me, this is where it's at. It's just exhilarating, and it feels, I think a lot of it is because it translates to something I would do in real life, and that's why this feels a bit more authentic for me when I do it in the sim. Right, I think we'll pick this back up after we get closer to Cosford, and then we need to find a hotel to stay for a couple of nights before the air show. So I'll see you a bit further up the road. And since you probably haven't really heard the sounds that much during this video so far, I'm now going to shut up and you can enjoy just 1 minute of Tomahawk Sounds without my annoying voice over the top. Here we go.
Skylane 422 Alpha Mike, extend downwind spacing for departing traffic.
We are now going
Extending
to
downwind Skylane 422 Alpha Mike.
call Cosford Tower for a landing. Begin our descent into the beautiful Cotswolds. Now, fingers crossed for decent weather at Cosford Air Show. But yeah, this is a very easy aircraft to sort of relook at and review, especially because, well, Just Flight, in my opinion, are the most trusted developer out there. I mean, they just produce the most exquisite aircraft, you know, like the 146 Professional, which I've shown on the channel a few times now. It's now available in X-Plane and it just looks phenomenal. And I am tempted to get back into X-Plane again, and if I do, that's the first aircraft I'm going to show on the channel. Anyway, let's make our call here to Cosford. Cosford Tower, 12 Lima Golf, requesting landing clearance.
Lima Golf, wind 280 at 18, runway 24, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 24, thank you, 12 Lima Golf. Okay, so we'll put our fuel pump on. T's and P's all in the green. Just zooming in for you guys there. All the fuel pressure, oil temp and oil pressure is in the green. By the way, the fuses all work in this, in case you're wondering. Like I say, the only thing I would love to see with this bird is headphone simulation. It's the only thing I can nitpick, which says a lot really about how good this is. We'll just put a bit of carb heat in now, just to make sure we don't get any icing. Nice, we've got an RPM drop there, and then back to off. We are cleared to land on runway 24. We are a bit high now, so we'll just start descending. I should hopefully start seeing Cosford very soon. I'm going to be on that motorway on Sunday. I hate that motorway. It's going to be chock-a-block as well. And this year I am going in the car. Every year I always go on the motorbike to get through the traffic. But yeah, this year it's going to be a bit different. So we'll see how we get on. I must say that Sim Update 3 is running really well. It's so good to have native eye-tracked foveated rendering support, something I never thought we'd ever get for this sim. So a massive congratulations to Asobo. And by the way, I am going to be featured in one of their live streams soon. I'm going to be on there with them talking about the recent improvements to VR. So it's an absolute honour to be invited to one of their live streams. I'm going to be talking with Pimax, which are going to be featured on their next, probably their next dev stream, whenever that will be. I think it will be in June. So yeah, look out for that. You'll see my ugly mug on there. This is default scenery for Cosford, because, well, I could have prepared it, and maybe there probably is a great add-on scenery for Cosford. So I'll have to find that, but yeah, for this particular video we're just flying into a default airport, which is something we don't often do. Got some flapping now, I think.
12 Lima Golf, wind 290 at 15, runway 24, clear to land.
Can really feel like the vibration has now changed. Mixture fully rich in the Moza yoke. Just having one more last check here. Temperatures and pressures all in the green. Harnesses are secure, fuel pump is on, landing light is on, mixture fully rich. One more stage of flaps. We don't really need any more flaps. It's a big runway for this, but I'm doing it so you can hear those sounds. Trimming up here a little bit. We are a little bit low here, and there is a crosswind. I can feel that. Wow. Okay. And we're a bit slow, just feeling a bit more power. It is a very hands-on bird, this, the Tomahawk. Welcome to a default. Wow, bit of turbulence all of a sudden. A default airfield. That often happens, I find, when you go over the trees. Whether it's a sort of transpiration, you know, of that water vapour going up into the air and hitting the aircraft, I'm not quite sure, but it does make things quite lively. Here we go then. Don't overcorrect. Settle her down. Bit of rudder there, and we are down. So thank you so much, folks, for watching this video today. We've been in the Pimax Crystal Super using Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 Sim Update 3 Beta. This is a pre-release version of the soon big update, which makes the Tomahawk native in 2024. That means it works perfectly out of the box and actually has some...
Lima Golf. Welcome to Cockpit.
Thank
Taxi
you.
to General Aviation. Parking at your discretion. Stay with me.
Okie dokie. And as those little upgrades, such as the EFB, flight modelling tweaks, and just refinement, and it does feel fantastic in this sim, without a doubt. 12 Lima Golf, thank you. Taxi to General Aviation Parking, and stay with you. Right, that will do for this video today. Appreciate the support, folks. It's great to be back flying again, for flying's sake, you know, not just showing new hardware all the time, which I know is part of the channel, but the main passion for why I started this channel in the first place is this kind of thing, flying. So if you have sat and watched this video, thank you so much, it really means a lot. Let's park over here and get rid of that toolbar again. This will do nicely. Let's just listen to the engine sound as we lean the mixture. Oh, and even the yoke there shaking in unison. I love it. Friggin' love it. There we are, folks. Another flight in the bag. Hang on. Oh yeah, shut that first. Very, very nice. It's just all those little details. I absolutely... Oh yes, that way. And we are now ready for the Cosford Air Show. Looking forward to it. Maybe even see you there.